Are you looking to max out your lead generation efforts in your landscaping business? If so, watch this video until the end because I'm going to be sharing with you the 5 different levels of this lead generation pyramid so that you can max out your business with as many leads as possible so that you can exponentially grow your landscaping business. What's going on, you guys? This is Matt Thibeau here with Savant Marketing Agency. And in this video, we're going to be talking all about how you can max out the lead generation efforts for your lawn care, landscaping, or outdoor living business so that you can exponentially grow. I'm going to give you a full 360-degree view of everything that you could be doing on the marketing front to make sure that you're basically firing on all cylinders. So what I have here is what I call the lead generation pyramid. And I have several different levels in that pyramid. Generally, this is a good flow of how to think about it when you're ramping up the lead generation efforts for your company. Whether you're a new landscaping company or you've been around for a long time, this is going to be kind of like a roadmap for you to know where to go and what to start building. So the first level that we have here in the lead generation pyramid is your reputation. This is basically like your base foundation for all of your lead generation marketing efforts in your landscaping business. If you don't have a good reputation, it's extremely difficult to start growing your business because you're not going to get as many referrals as you should be getting. Everything is going to be more difficult if you don't have a great reputation to start. So everything starts there. Do good work, show up on time, do right by people, and just go the extra mile to be able to make your clients happy, right? I think this goes without saying, but the very first level in the lead generation pyramid is just making sure that you're making all of your customers very happy and you're doing a quality work and your output of your service is very good. I wouldn't recommend to start scaling up the marketing until you make sure that you have a great service and a great reputation, because marketing is just an amplifier. So it's going to just amplify everything that's already happening. So if you have a business with lots of problems in it, it's probably just going to amplify all those problems and make everything worse. On the flip side of that, if you have a great business with a great reputation, it's just going to amplify that. So you're just going to get more of what already is. So that's level number 1, is your reputation. Level number 2 is going to be starting with some offline marketing. This is where I would recommend for people to do their very first stab at marketing. So what this looks like is getting some yard signs done, some door hangers, and some simple flyers. Doing some of these like really simple offline marketing strategies. What this is going to do is just start to build up your reputation more in the community itself, right? So you have the word of mouth going on, but if you can start being visible through door hangers and yard signs and flyers and, maybe even like a sports game in your local community, maybe you sponsor that for like one night or something and you have like a little banner with your logo, just some really small stuff. You don't need to be spending very much money on this. Like I would say these investments should be like $1,000 or less, like around that. You don't want to be spending too much money, but just to start get your wheels turning, I'm assuming at this point you're kind of a newer company, then starting off with the offline stuff is going to be very powerful for you. Some simple strategies, this would also include like door knocking as well. So every time you land a job, put up a yard sign, maybe put some door hangers on the houses around the job, and then just knock on some doors and just be like, hey, we're in the area. I was wondering if you'd be interested in getting similar work done. We helped out Bob down the street or whatever. Just some really basic, simple stuff. This is going to take you a long way. And just doing these 2 levels here, reputation building and the offline marketing, this should get your company to a level of stability where you have work coming in. You're not like struggling like crazy to pay the bills. You can probably hire like a helper or 2. So this is going to give you some stability. Once you have the offline stuff out of the way, the next level in the lead generation pyramid is to start building out your online assets. So what this would look like is building a really simple website and getting your Google business profile set up where people can leave reviews for you online, and getting your Facebook page, your Instagram page, and your social media accounts set up. And you should start posting content on those. So essentially in this level, you're now building up your online assets and you're having a baseline level of online reputation, right? So this is going to be extremely helpful before you start doing some of the other stuff we're going to talk about, because now you have a local presence, you have a good reputation, and you have a very good online presence, right? So you have somewhere that people can go and look at pictures of your work and some testimonials on your website. Maybe they can read some reviews on Google, and you're just going to be able to have that presence that people are going to trust you, right? So when they're coming across your business and they Google the name of your company, which everyone's going to do, then you have something that they can look at. So this is definitely going to be the third level there. Very important. Before I, get into ads and some of the other stuff, like I said, you can run ads without doing like the offline stuff and getting your assets and stuff in place. Well, you would need a Facebook page, but it's definitely going to make it a lot easier if you follow the steps that I'm kind of saying here, because you're going to have everything in place before. So once you have those digital assets in place, I would recommend to start like building on those a little bit. So your website, you should have some pictures of your work on there, some testimonials, a little bit of information about your company, maybe a picture of you, the owner, maybe some pictures of the crew, etc. On your Facebook and Instagram accounts, like you should be showing some pictures of your work again, pictures of your crew, should be posting regularly so people kind of know that you're a real business and that you're actually doing work and you're active. And then on your Google business profile, start asking clients for reviews, build up those reviews. Hopefully you can get it up to like maybe 20 or 50 5-star reviews on Google. This is definitely going to start getting more organic traffic, building a lot of trust. So once you have that out of the way, the next level in this lead generation pyramid is going to be turning on advertising. So the best places that I recommend for you to advertise your business online are going to be Facebook ads and Google ads. I'm going to share a little bit of my thoughts on like a general strategy, but I have lots of different videos on this channel all about advertising. That's what we do in our business at Savant Marketing Agency, is we help landscapers grow using advertising. So once you're ready for Facebook or Google ads, I would definitely recommend hiring an expert to really help you take it to another level, but that's besides the point. So like I said, Facebook and Google right now are the best places to advertise your business online for paid advertising. For Facebook ads, I would recommend starting with Facebook instead of doing Instagram at the same time. Facebook, we find, works a little bit better. You're going to get cheaper leads on there, I personally find. So start off with Facebook. I recommend to just make simple video ads, and you want to place those ads in the Reels section on Facebook where people are scrolling in through. And you can make a really simple lead form campaign where people fill out a form and that goes to your email with their name, number, all their details about the project. Or you could keep it very simple and do stuff like messaging ads on Facebook. I personally find though that the lead quality of those messaging ads is not very good. So you're probably you're gonna get a little bit frustrated with like the lead quality on messaging ads. Even though the lead cost is much cheaper, I would recommend doing lead forms. You're going to see a much higher lead quality come through. On the Google ads side, I would say that first you want to start off with something called local service ads. So those are basically like a simpler version of Google search ads, which we'll talk about in a minute. But local service ads, they allow you to actually set the amount per lead that you're willing to pay for. And then you can get ranked top results on Google when people are searching for like landscaper near me, etc. There's also going to be like a green check mark next to the business name, your company. So you do have to do like a little bit of an insurance background and like a background check in general on your company for Google to list you there. But once you're there, you're going to get some very hot leads come through because people are just searching on Google, best landscaper near me or something like that. So I would recommend to do Facebook ads. If you're just getting started with, advertising, I'd recommend to start with the Facebook ads and then add the local service ads afterwards. And then once you have both of those going, then you have the option of tacking on Google search ads on top of the local service ads. Google search ads basically allow you to be more strategic with the keywords that you're going after. So local service ads, you're kind of just bidding on anything that's related to landscaping or whatever your specific niche is within that. Tree care, lawn care, stuff like that. So you're very specific on the category of what you're going after. Whereas Google search ads, you can go after very specific keywords. So not just categories, but if someone is searching for something like cost to renovate my backyard, or cost for a new patio, or best lawn care company in my area, So you can go after extremely specific keywords, which is a little bit more advanced. So that's why I'm recommending to add it like as a last thing to your advertising after Facebook and after local service ads. So it is also worth mentioning that I wouldn't do advertising until you're ready to spend at least $1,500 per month in ad spend. So that would be like the absolute minimum. Anything less than that, you're not quite ready to get to that point. But this is going to be a very transitional point in your lead generation strategy, because now you have the ability to absolutely control your lead gen. Like everything else here that we talked about, reputation, offline stuff, you can't really control the lead generation. Like if you need more leads coming in this week, it's not like you can really facilitate more leads coming through word of mouth or like yard signs and such. Whereas with the advertising, you can definitely do that. So that's going to be a very exciting time for you if you're not advertising already. And so once you get the advertising in place and that's rocking and rolling, then the very last level of maxing out your lead generation strategy is going to be doing LT, which I put short form for long-term lead generation strategies. So what is long-term? I would recommend at this point, like once you have your advertising dialed in and these things, that's when you can start looking at SEO, which is search engine optimization, or AEO, which is answer engine optimization, which is using, AI tools like ChatGPT and stuff to rank in there. Homeowners are searching through Google and AI to be able to find services. So these are going to be investments that you're going to make that won't really show you results until 6 months in or so. And that's why they're called long-term investments, because they are going to require more capital to spend without necessarily seeing quick cash flow. Stuff like ads and, doing the offline stuff and word of mouth, like those are going to be bringing in opportunities fairly quickly. Whereas doing the LT long-term stuff, you're not going to see as fast returns from it. Another one other than like SEO would be doing like JV partnerships, right? So building a relationship. If you don't know what a JV partnership is that is a joint venture partnership where you're building a relationship with other companies that maybe don't compete with you, but are in a similar space that maybe you can start sending business to each other, right? And so joint venture partnerships are definitely something that's going to take you some time to start building relationships, and like actively going out and seeking those opportunities is going to take some time before you start seeing the fruit of those. But that is definitely going to be another level adding on top of all of your lead generation efforts. Another thing worth mentioning would be doing something like trade shows. So these can be also like a significant investment of like $5,000, $10,000, depending on where you're going and like what booth size you have and such. And you are going to get a lot of connections, but it's not necessarily going to be everyone moving forward all at once. And so I would definitely say that's more of a long-term strategy. But those are some things that you could do that are going to definitely start increasing lead gen over time. Another strategy that would be like a long-term strategy is doing something like a local magazine. So some counties, states, or provinces, like depending on where you are and whether US or Canada, there's going to be like small neighborhood type magazines. And if you can get like columns written about you, or maybe, you're doing some advertising in there, this is going to be something that may not show you the return right off the bat, but it's all these little things that are starting to add up, So if someone sees your yard sign and then they see an ad on Facebook, and then they're talking to their friend, oh, did you hear about that company? So they just hear about you everywhere. And then they open up the magazine, they see a call about you there. So all these little things are just starting to really stack up, right? And so we want to basically just be omnipresent and be everywhere. So this is going to be the last level there, is just doing some of these longer term things that are just helping with the omnipresence, right? So I hope you found this helpful. If you did, give it a thumbs up, give it a subscribe. If you have any questions or you want to share any of your thoughts, maybe you disagree with me, maybe you think that like things should be elsewhere in the order, I want to know. Comment below. And as always, like I said, we help out lawn care, landscaping, and outdoor living contractors grow their business with online advertising. So if you would like to have a consultation with us and see how we could help you grow your business, link is in the description below. You can book a call with our team. We'd be happy to see how we can help you out. All right, guys, I'll see you on my next video.